Hey, you know what is it today? Special day? 5.7 preview is out! So let's check out what's new for us before the official release of Unreal Engine 5.7. Let's go! Let's kick things off with one of the most anticipated updates in 5.7. Nanite Foliage. The feature that really blew me away here is the new Procedural Nanite Foliage assembly system. Basically, you can now build vegetation, trees, plants, all that stuff, directly inside Unreal Engine. No need to rely on external tools anymore. The first step is to enable the Procedural Vegetation Editor plugin. Once that's enabled, you'll see a new asset type in the content browser under the foliage section called Procedural Vegetation. You can even start with the built-in templates, which is perfect for getting a feel for how the system works without starting completely from scratch. When you open one app, you'll notice it's a node-based setup, very similar to PCG. Through different nodes and functions, you can author and customize vegetation however you want. It's surprisingly flexible. There are 4 main setups to work with here, and at the end, you will specify whether you want the result exported as a skeletal mesh or a static mesh. Just don't forget to enable Nanite Foliage in the project settings, or nothing will actually show up. It's all pretty straightforward, and the examples make it easy to wrap your head around. You can dive into any node, tweak some attributes, and instantly see your tree or plant change. On top of that, you've got handy tools like the mannequin display, so you can quickly check scale. It's still experimental, but honestly, it feels really promising and opens up a ton of new possibilities for world building. On a broader level, Nanite Foliage itself has been pushed even further in this release. Systems like Nanite Assemblies make it easier to build foliage blocks, which means more variation with less performance cost. And then there's Nanite's voxelization, something you might remember from the Witcher demo at Unreal Fest. Now, distant foliage can be displayed using voxels, which keeps performance super high while still looking correct, even with dynamic lighting. Nanite Foliage is already a game changer, but seeing Epic continue to refine and expand it is really exciting. If you're working on a large-scale environment or big world building projects, this update is going to be huge. Another big highlight in 5.7 is that Substrate Materials are finally production ready. It still shows as beta in this preview build, but for the full release, it's going to be enabled by default. Substrate is a whole new shader system that brings way more realism and flexibility. If you remember the Rivian pickup from the 5.2 release, that insanely detailed material was only possible thanks to Substrate. The best part is you're not locked into it, and we will continue to support both the legacy shader system and Substrate whether you're working in the editor or shipping your project. There's definitely a lot to learn with this system, and I'm sure we'll see more templates rolling out soon. But I think it's going to unlock some wild stuff, not just hyperrealism, but even stylized looks, like advanced cartoon shaders. I honestly can't wait to see what people are going to come up with. On top of that, MegaLights are moving into beta for 5.7, which means better stability, better performance, and even new features like groom support. If you're not familiar, MegaLights basically let you use a massive number of light actors, like spotlights or rake lights, without tanking performance. Think of it like Nanite but for lights. No need to hack together complicated setups, and we'll just handle it. And then we've got a bunch of nice quality of life updates for simulation. Heterogeneous volumes now run faster, with better shadow quality and more scalability controls. Niagara caching is also more stable and adds some handy features like debug info in the cache track, warm-ups, and extra attributes you can play with. The big win here is caching your simulation means you don't have to constantly play them dynamically in the editor just to see the final look. You can lock things in and work in the actual render results. Honestly, once you start using it, it's hard to go back. It's super powerful and kind of a must-have for ethics work. Now let's jump into the part I personally enjoy the most. Animation, of course. The number one feature here, and honestly a total game changer, is the new selection set mode. In animation mode, you can now create sets of selected controls, and it makes animating so much smoother. Just grab the controls you want, save them into a set, and you're ready to go. With a quick right-click, you get options like finding mirrored controls or isolating your current sets, which is huge when you're focused on one area and all the other controls are just in the way. Seriously, nailed it. On top of that, the constraint tool has a brand new UI. It now combines both constraint and the snapper feature into one cleaner, more user-friendly interface. Looks better, works better, can't complain. Moving into control rig, there's a feature I think a lot of you are going to love, the Dependency Viewer. You'll find it in the Window tab, and it basically lets you visualize how everything in your rig is connected. Double-clicking on the upstream or downstream node expands the network so you can see all the dependencies between controls, bonds, and nodes. It's super useful for understanding what's going on under the hood. You can also tweak the view with tools in the top bar, but keep in mind, it's read-only. So you don't risk breaking your rig, it's purely a visual aid to help you navigate and understand connections better. And honestly, it's so helpful. One more small but super handy update. You can now label or rename any rig item array you create. So if you've dropped a bunch of controls or bonds into an array, you can rename it for easy organization. It sounds minor, but when you're managing a complex graph, this is a lifesaver. No need for extra variables, just rename the array and keep things clean. Metahuman also gets some nice updates in 5.7. We got improvements to clothing, rooms, and the big news, Metahuman Creator is finally coming to Linux and Mac. That's a huge step and really cool to see. There are also tons of new features to explore, like a fresh way of authoring and grooming hair assets, not just for metahumans but for characters in general. This new system uses a data flow approach, which makes the whole process more flexible and powerful. Definitely something worth keeping an eye on if you're working with characters. And finally, let's talk about something completely new. There's now an AI assistant built right into the editor. Yep, you heard that right, an AI chat assistant that can actually help you during the creation process. Need to quickly look up information, hotkeys, or some documentation? These little helpers got you covered. Say you want a quick overview of all the editor hotkeys without digging through preferences? Just ask give me hotkeys for the editor, and it will bring up the main shortcuts along with links to the official docs if you want to dive deeper. Or let's say you're working in a control rig and you want to build your first FK control, the assistant can walk you through it step by step, again pulling from the official docs and providing extra resources. Now it's still experimental, so you want to double check the outputs before relying on it completely. But it's a really promising start, and I can see it becoming a super useful tool for both beginners and experienced users who just want to save time. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching this video about the 5.7 preview, and let me know in the comments what you think about that. Don't forget to leave a like as well and to subscribe if you like the channel, and see you next week for a new one. Ciao!